Welcome to the latest YouTube Side Hustle podcast with me, Matt, from the YouTube channel A Buck Life. Something's just dropped off my desk. I'm going with it. Where you join us on our journey of being full-time working dads trying to build a YouTube channel. Today, we are talking about kit. What you need versus what you think you need versus what you actually need. Do you need all the gear? Is it all the gear and no idea? Or actually, is it just keep it lean, keep it minimal until you feel that it's worth the investment? Because I've got a few little ideas that when I was thinking about this, there's stuff I've bought which I just don't even use.
Yep. Amazing. And I'm Rich from Brick Thinking and loosely from Flipbird. And I'm talking to Matt about what he just said. Right. So no wins and losses for you last week. Oh, I didn't particularly have any, besides you obviously saying you've been crook. I'm trying to think what I was trying to do last week. My iPhone front screen has just got my to-do list of 3 or 4 things that I want to do. And I got half of them done. One is uploading this podcast. So we're at 11 subscribers now. Thank you to you 11 people who are crazy enough to listen to us. The farming out of the shorts via Opus Clip's working really well. So I'd say that's, and when I say really well, like they're generating extremely modest views, but with very little effort. So super happy with that.
Yeah.
I getting reasonably good views on the Roblox video, which wasn't even going to be a video. It was just a prop for a future video, but I decided to make a video of it. And that's sitting at, it would help if I had this open, wouldn't it? Content 8,800 views in
Hey, that's loads of views.
Yeah,
that's
so in
loads of views.
It's only a minute long because it's just literally building this thing for a video. The K-pop one's at 8,700 now. That's a 9-minute video. So those two are going okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. The losses, if you want to call them losses, is probably, I'm trying to move towards, I think I said to you, the AV type script editing, where I put down the voiceover. I'll get Bri to record that, or I'll record mine, and then I'll put the video footage to it. I was away on the weekend, and I really wanted to get Bri's latest drill video done. But when I put her audio down and I put together the B-roll that we had, or A-roll and B-roll, there was bits missing that I should have picked up before we did it, because I actually took her out into the backyard purposefully for this video and shot the shots that I needed. So yeah, that's probably a bit of a lesson.
You didn't have enough footage.
I didn't have the right footage, so I had enough. But when I was talking about, specific things, I didn't have the things to suit that. So, but I think, I don't know. I did write a shot list, but I think maybe a tighter script would have been a better idea before I figured out what the shot list was. But anyway, so that's not really a loss. It's more just a minor frustration in terms of productivity, because I do want to get into a point where I can consistently put out this podcast and a video of her channel. We're going away next week to Bali on Friday, so that'll be my time to dig into. It's going to be wet. Dig into her back catalogue and the Google Drive of all the storage that she's done so far, all the footage, and start to piece that together for the vlog style content. So that's the plan for that. And then at some point, try and squeeze in some Lego stuff around that.
I'll go wins and losses.
Go.
Losses are, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm obviously ill again, and I've got another cold because of my lovely children. So
this should be called the fully sick YouTube side hustle.
Mate, literally somebody in my house has been ill since September. It's just constant, and I can't seem to escape it. So I literally had about half a week of feeling good and then copped another cold. So that's my loss. And my other loss is that my van was, it broke down. So I had to put it into the garage. So I didn't really get anything filmed. I didn't get anything done. I haven't done any work on the van, really. I've got kind of a quarter of the next video filmed, and then the van's just been in the garage. I've got it back. They fixed the problems, but then obviously it's now got a new problem that it didn't have when it went into the garage.
Amazing.
I know, it's just that is vehicles. So I had to film. So this then leads me into my win, which was I wanted to release a video this week. Obviously, I try for every week. So I decided to, and this is a little trick actually for anybody filming, well, anybody trying to grow their own channel, especially for, I guess, for people that have got a few good videos or a few videos recorded and, they've got a bit of a back catalogue. So they've experimented a little bit. And that is to go through your back catalogue. And because I never really look back, but go through your back catalogue and look at what's actually performing well. Because stuff does, like, some of my stuff really ticks over without you really realizing. And you look back and you're like, oh, right, actually, that video has done 200,000 views.
My favorite kind are the ones that had just gone like this for so long and then out of the blue just done that. And you're like, what changed?
I've never had you've got a few videos that have done that. I don't really have any that. So mine random. Are just kind of like gentle tick, like ones that have just gently ticked away.
But in your head, you think are still around 2,000 views and you check and they're like 30. It's like, what happened there?
And you're like, wow, people are watching this stuff. So I thought I'll do that. And there was one which was kind of, it done 200,000 views and it was saying basically reviewing the idea of it was reviewing it, rating everything in my van that I'd built in my first van out of 10. And then actually when I ended up doing the title and thumbnail and stuff like that, I put in some other options for different titles. And it's ended up sticking with one of those, which was everything, obviously the kind of more clickbaity one, which was everything wrong with my camper van, because I highlight the issues that are wrong. So I thought, right, what can I had an idea anyway of doing basically like the 5, Ali Abdul.
Yes. Is it? Yeah. He's a list man.
Every video can be a list, basically. So I was like, I'll do a list. I'll just do like, now we've had the van a year, 5 things that we got totally wrong in the van build. And so that's what I filmed. So I filmed 5 things that we got totally wrong, 9-minute video, kept it really punchy. It's doing well. Released it this morning, filmed it in about an hour, edited it in about 3, maybe 3 or 4, and then dropped it Sunday morning, and it's done 5,000 views as of now. So like today, 5,000 views today, and hopefully, I'm hoping that video will do well. So that is the win.
So it's so good, isn't it? And it kind of like makes you wonder why you put so much effort into your other videos when you get these low lift ones where you just go, cool, I just filmed like naturally, no effort, and not no effort, but just kept it real. Edited for 3-4 hours, bang, that's like 4 or 5 hours work, and a decent performing video. And they're usually generally longer as well, because you're not. That certainly for me, like, editing an entertainment video for attention or trying to, it gets super punchy and ends up super short, especially when you're just doing stuff around Lego. Whereas, the longer stuff where you're just chatting, it's like, well, like this podcast, like we're having a chat. It goes for as long as it goes, which is, up to about an hour. It gets edited, well, not even edited. Like we just, if there's any bits that need taking out, but then it just gets uploaded, and it's like, well, that's an hour of our time. And
it's like, the thing is that I was saying this to Jins earlier. I was saying that actually the video took me an hour to film compared to a build video, which takes me 2 days to film, and then like 8 hours to edit. But you almost have to do those videos to then have that
100%.
That content on that knowledge, and that, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but that kind of, not street cred or credibility. So like me building the van gives me that credibility and going through that process to make that easy video. And it's like me going to the Arctic gives me that credibility that I've tested my vans, or that I've got, I'm maybe not knowledgeable about those things, but I've certainly got experience, and I can certainly say what's worked and what hasn't. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Do you want to fire for your kit? Talking about
Yes.
today's next topic.
So we touched off on it in the last video, and it made me think about. It's probably for me. Like, we've learned a lot along the journey, but one of the bigger things that I learned coming full circle was what gear we actually need. Especially now in an era of AI, when it can clean up a lot of stuff for you, be it audio or visual. So when I first started, I hopped on board the content creator. So 14-day filmmaker, and that was with either a camera or a phone. And he's got an excellent community. He's really good at what he does, and I highly recommend content creator community to anyone who's learning, who's out of the gate, wants to learn basically how to shoot content creation, be it for YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, podcast. So I got his 14-day filmmaker course for a mobile phone. And then I'm like looking at it thinking, I think I'm going to take this seriously. Surely big YouTubers aren't using their phones. So I must need a camera. So then I started doing the camera version of the same course. I sort of went down the rabbit hole of all the different settings with the camera. I've iterated my YouTube studio. This is the studio, the shed, didn't shed.
You need to show you need to kind of show your studio because it's quite good.
I will. But that has evolved, and even things like audio. Like we're talking now. You are using a mic?
Yeah, I'm using a one of those blue. I forget what they're called.
Yeah,
really popular, really popular YouTubers mic. In fact, I'll hold it up. There you go. One of those.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, cool. I've looked at those, and I'm using AirPods. And so we talked last week, and so the week 1 I used AirPods. Week 2, you said there was an echo, so I took them off. And then week 3, I've got them back in again. Week 2, when I put the footage into, when I went to edit it in Riverside, it sounded super tinny, but you just press the button that says clean up audio, and that's that fixed. So that's the same as the Adobe Podcast AI sort of website thing. I think it's free. I don't think you need a membership for it. Maybe you need a membership. I can't remember. Either way, you can put in some really not bad. It can't be bad audio, but like if you sat like me now in a tin shed or something like that, you can put it in there. It makes it sound like you're in a YouTube studio, in a recording studio. So I think just to sum up, before we get into more detail as to what we got and why, I thought I needed all the gear when actually you don't. You need a phone. You don't need a mic's great if you can have it. Some lights are great if you can have them, but you just need your phone to get started. There's some really good ideas. And then just start putting out the content and iterate as you go. And I would probably argue that I would hold off on the investment of any kind of gear until you've figured out your craft 6 to 12 months into what you're doing. Save yourself some pennies.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm definitely a proof of concept kind of person. Like I want to, before you go and wax a load of cash on it, you want to feel like you are invested in it and it's moving in the right direction, because stuff is expensive and you don't want to be kind of blown a load of cash. And yeah, like you say, your phone is a pretty good camera these days. But I would just say, touching on audio, I think and like whenever you listen to anybody talk about this topic, audio is way more important than your camera.
100%. Like, providing you're not using a potato camera.
Nobody can watch footage if it is just horrible audio. You need it to be crisp and clear.
Yes. So if you're going to film in a tin shed and you're not using a mic, it definitely needs cleaning up. Or if you're doing the sort of like Bri does the vlog style content in the house, and if she's using her phone to film herself, then having the clip-on mic is definitely the way forward. So there's a whole bunch of those now.
Saying that, though, the very rare occasion I film something on my phone, the audio on a phone compared to any of my cameras without a mic is superior.
Yeah, of course. It's more of a one thing does all, isn't it? So
yeah.
So your content's slightly different to mine, but to sort of illustrate how I started, first of all, I'm making Lego content. I thought, okay, great, I need to be sat at a desk with a nice camera looking at me, some nice softbox lights and some nice lighting on the wall behind me. And I shot a few videos, and I think it was Bri that said it to me. She's like, do people want to see you or Lego? I'm like, yeah, it's probably a good point. So they were seeing the Lego, but they didn't need to. They didn't need to see this. They're just, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. The level of support I get at home is amazing. So yeah, but she was quite right. Like, I look at the bigger YouTubers, and some guys feature themselves more in the videos, some guys less. But the video's about the Lego, so that's when I sort of switched to how I was doing it. So I went down there. It was at the time when the ZV-E10 was really popular, and supposedly, new YouTuber friendly. It does have automatic settings, but in our little sort of mastermind group, we've got my friend Phil, who's a filmmaker. So I got him over to help me figure out the settings, get the aperture right, get the focal length right, get all the softbox lights right, make it all look nice. And it was crispy as. And there's a few people that saw this video and they're like, wow, like, how'd you learn to do that? Can you teach me how to do that? And if I was doing a review type video where you're like, hey, here's me, here's the product I'm talking about, or a news type channel, or whatever it is that involves me, it would be a beautiful little setup for that. But it was not suitable for the kind of Lego stuff I was doing. And I couldn't, if there was movement involved in the videos, I couldn't walk around the house with softbox lights. Right, we'll plug him in here, we're going to get started. And I didn't have a production company, I didn't have a film crew, and so I started to get really frustrated with the friction involved in getting set up before I even hit record, and it was off-putting to start filming. So iterated that along the way. That was a nice place we were renting. That as a double garage with power and the plasterboard walls and all that sort of stuff. So it was essentially like another room in the house, but just with the roller doors. So it worked really well. And then we moved house, and this tin shed is the best we've got. So I showed you before, but that's it's terrible filming this with my laptop, but you can see there that's the table that I film on. But other than that, it's just the all of the rubbish that you would expect to see in someone's tin shed. One thing I did do, and this is, I probably have something better to film with than this. Which way am I going? Here we go. So that's, these lights are mounted to the ceiling, and the same with this one over here. They weren't super expensive. They were, what brand are they? I don't know how you say. Is it Niwa? I don't know. There's too many E's in that name. Just basically little sort of panel lights. I looked at the reviews. These ones seem to be a good way to go. The reason I got those two was I used to have just the Amazon Basics soft boxes. Did a great job. And when I say great job, like I'm not a professional filmmaker. So again, if you're interviewing guests, if you're going to take this seriously, then maybe, and when I say take it seriously, if you want the crispy footage and fancy lighting, then obviously you're going to go beyond the Amazon Basics soft boxes. But I didn't need that for my Lego. They were here at the side of the desk, and they were sort of, when I'm filming stuff, like right here, I was sort of I could barely move. I kept knocking them over, paying the bomb. So I mounted these to the ceiling. And another thing I did with my camera, because I didn't have, I was running out of options of what to do with that, is this thing here. So this is just like you would get an IKEA lamp or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just clip my phone, which we'll get back to in a second, onto here, and I can move this around however I want. So I can do shots pointing at the thing from in front. I can do the top down. I can spin it around and point it at me if I want to sort of break the fourth wall or whatever you call it. And this is super easy. It's like being at the dentist. You just sort of move it around wherever you want it. Whereas before, I had the camera on the tripod. I'm like, okay, I've got to go down here. And I would knock it over, and I couldn't work around it. So it's been a lifesaver. But, you look at it and they're going, okay, well, you've got a phone clip instead of a camera. The iPhone 16 Pro, which I've got here for Lego content, is great. It's got a macro lens and everything's automatic. So I was using multiple cameras to make the videos when I had the Sony. And we do have we have one more camera, which we'll talk about in a sec. And the footage I was getting on the phone was just, it was crispier and it was easier to set up because the Sony on auto versus the phone on auto, I was getting better footage on the phone on auto than the Sony. It's not so Sony's not a good camera. It's just to say that I'm, too incompetent to use it. So it was, I'm like, well, why am I even doing this? I might as well just use the phone. If I'm getting good footage and it's easy to use, then I should do that. So minimum friction. You're generally going to need 1 or 2 or 3 cameras, depending on the sort of stuff you're doing. So we mentioned this last week, I think, as well. I went with the DJI Osmo Pocket, which has got the little gimbal. Great for establishing shots. You can pan around nicely. It's got the gimbal, perfect for like your van content or bride's renovation content, but mostly just like the before and afters, where you just want a nice, smooth, stabilized shot. But as we mentioned, it was giving me anxiety because it was on a tripod and the kids were running around and it's going to get knocked off and broken. And again, a bit more of a faff to use. So I ended up offloading that and getting the Insta360 Go Ultra, which has got a little pop-out camera that I can attach to Lego trains and cars and stuff. So I film with that. So, but then also when it's on a tripod with brides, you can just pop it on the go. And I've just found out the other day, I didn't even realize you could do this when we bought it. The battery wasn't lasting very long, but it actually records plugged into the wall. So I've just bought it like a 3-meter USB-C cable, plug it in the wall, and that can go. So that's another thing is battery life. I initially started filming on an iPhone 12 mini. Battery was terrible. Storage was terrible. So if you're going to film on a phone, you need decent storage. But you also need a decent battery. So this one this iPhone 16's got a relatively good battery, so that's fine. But if you're needing to charge it while you're filming, and with the iPhone 12 mini, I wanted to stick a storage SD card in there, so that was a nightmare. So your phone needs to be off. The battery needs to be good, needs to be enough storage. If it's a standalone camera, like an action camera or something like that, then and you're going to be working there for a while with the time lapse shot or anything like what you're doing, then having a power source to plug it in. So that would be those 2 things with the cameras. Audio, simpler the better. And we had the DJI mic that came with the Osmo, which was really nice, and it had onboard recording. So the 2 differences with the mics is they're either going to record on board, and then you plug it into your computer and you sync the audio with the video afterwards, which is an extra step to go through. You can save yourself the time by having the Mic Mini that Bluetooths to you. Actually, no, I think that one will Bluetooth to. You can correct me on this in a minute. We've now got the Mic Minis, and they Bluetooth to. They've got a dongle that pops in the end of a phone if you want to record on here, or they'll Bluetooth to the Insta360 or to the DJI cameras, and then your audio is good to go. It's crispy as, and there's not that extra step. If they're Bluetooth, the trade-off there is their line of sight. So if you're walking away with the mic attached to your front and you're some distance away, you might get some breakup of the audio. So that's something to consider with the audio, but they're super cheap. There's that one. There's the begins with H. Is it H? There's a circular one that sort of clips on. Holyland? Yeah, that's it.
No idea.
So there's a Holyland mic, there's the DJI mic, there's a whole bunch, and you can get reviews of these on YouTube. But for starting out the gate, I need a camera and a mic. I'll just pick up my phone, film with that, and I'll get a clip-on Bluetooth mic, and you're good to go. Lights wise, you did the background of this shit. Like obviously, I can't use that thing up there as my lighting for a video, so you do have to invest in some other lights, but. Again, Amazon basics. You can either get these flat panel things I've got, or you can get the softbox lights.
Yeah, they're cool.
And they're good to go. Which works for this kind of environment. It's a bit different to what you're doing, but I would keep it simple. I would minimally invest, and then I'd work out how you're going to film, because I wasn't filming like this. I was sat behind the desk looking at the camera when I first started filming. Now the desk is against the wall with the coloured paper on the desk in the back, and I'm filming the Lego. So this has been through several iterations of setup in terms of how I'm going to film, and this is working better for me now. It's simple, it's easy, it's friction free, and the videos are tending to get a bit more traction than what they were initially. But I don't know. Like maybe if I had more time and I was a little bit smarter, I would have sat down and looked at the bigger YouTubers and go, okay, well, how are they filming? And because it's one thing to watch a YouTube video and go, oh, that was good. I can see why he's got a few, why he's getting decent views. And it's another thing to sit down and go, okay, how often is he cutting his scenes? What kind of environment is he filming in? And actually just study the videos and take notes. Like it's a completely different process. So maybe if I'd done that in more detail at the start, I probably could have picked up a few more things. But slow learner. We're getting there.
I feel like what I would pick up there from what you said is frictionless, removing, and that's exactly where I've ended up. I think you overcomplicate because you feel like that's what you should be doing. And if you're anything like me and you also, we quite like tech. So you just think, oh, I'll buy that, that'll improve the quality of my.
I need a drone. What for? You're filming Lego in your shed. I know, but I want some aerial shots.
So yeah, removing the friction. But your setup that's a cool setup. That looks really good.
It's kind of making the best of what you had. So that's probably another thing as well, is to add on is you don't want the setup and take down each time. So that was another thing when I was at the old house. I'm like, okay, I could put it in the room at the front of the house and set it up and take it down each time. Like you're going to spend an hour setting up and half an hour taking it down after every shoot. And so you're not going to do it. So you need somewhere permanent where you can just walk in and start filming. And this isn't ideal by any stretch of the imagination. So, it's a modest YouTube channel, 30,000 subscribers. But I think a lot of people would look at it and go, oh no, if I'm going to be half decent at this, I need, a proper studio, a proper area to work. This is like probably a quarter of the tin shed that's just full of tools and junk and stuff. So you just got to make it work.
From this side of the camera, it looks like that. But then from the other side of your camera, when you're looking at it,
exactly.
If we watch your videos, you could be in a professional studio for all anybody knows.
Yeah, and that was the distinction as well. I had early on. I'm like, and I even reached out to one of the mentors I had with this the big YouTube channels, and I said I film my videos, and the footage never turns out how I wanted it to in my head. I have this vision and dream of how I want this video to go, and it ends up being a frigging disaster. And your raw footage looks terrible. Like there's all sorts of clanging and banging in the background, and your shots don't turn out quite how you want them to, and all that kind of garbage. But then you get it into your editing software and you get rid of all the volume, and you add some music and you add some sound effects and you chop up the video and take the best bits. And you're like, wow, this actually looks decent. So you can film in your spare room at home, or your tin shed or your wooden shed or whatever it is, wherever you've got some space, and make a half decent go of it. Like this bit that I'm filming on is like no more than a meter squared, the actual area that I'm filming on. So you don't need much space.
And also, like what you've just said there about just having a go at it, I think you can get bogged down into quality, and certainly when I started making a few YouTube videos, not this time round. So I actually started, I think they're still on the channel right at the start. I think there's like 5 mountain bike videos which I made during COVID, and I kid you not, I must have spent however long filming them, like whatever the time took to do what I was doing. But then editing wise, I mean, they were taking like this during lockdown. So I had loads of time and I was spending hours like editing this footage.
Art project.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I've got much better at, there was a barrier actually that I'll talk about in a minute, but I've got much better at just being like, get it to 90%, and then just press send on it. Because
but I assume because you spent all that time getting these perfect edits that those videos have now got millions of views.
No, they've got like they've got like 5,000 views.
And this is another good lesson, isn't it? Like it's not in specifically related to gear, but it kind of is. You can get the crispiest, fanciest looking footage and spend weeks editing something, and it can bomb because the idea sucks. So you need to spend much more time on the idea, and the structure of the video than you do the actual quality of the filming and the audio and the lighting and all that stuff. Like there's a minimum level I think that people are prepared to tolerate to watch, but the idea is so much more important.
Yeah. So. But yeah, from in terms of my kit, I've never filmed on a phone, really. I film like the odd thing on a phone when I've just not got a camera with me and I'm out and about and I want to grab a quick shot. But I've never filmed on a phone. I don't always have a very good phone. I smash them up quite a bit. I have I'm usually like a couple of models back on an iPhone.
Nokia 3210.
Yeah, the brick, the indestructible brick. But. I've always had a GoPro from mountain biking, so I've always just filmed on a GoPro. So like a GoPro was my bread and butter, and then this was my point that I was going to come to about kit. And I actually think before you upgrade a camera, you need to upgrade your laptop, because massive, and I know there's some great. I can't speak for it because I've got no experience, but I know there's some great editing software on phones now, And I know people, I know some channels.
To work with though. I can't do it. Like just sitting there, trying to cut stuff. It's just
but I know there's a few channels I know of that they grew YouTube channels up to like 40,000 subscribers on a phone, filming on a phone, editing on a phone. And I think that's pretty impressive. But one of my big barriers when I was editing those mountain bike videos was my laptop. So I was filming in, I don't even think I was filming in 4K. I was just filming in 2.5K, and the editing was so slow and would crash. It was me being pernickety with the edit, but also the computer had no kick whatsoever.
I had the same problem. Yeah.
So then then I dropped it, and then I was like, right, I want to make some videos. What was my biggest barrier? And it was my laptop. So then I went in on a laptop, and I think I've got like the Dell gaming laptop.
Yep.
Not because I game, but because the spec of it was really good. Like it's got like 32 gig of RAM. It's got a proper graphics card. It's got massive amount of storage. I got it reconditioned direct from Dell. Tops, like they do levels of reconditioning or like returned or whatever. So it was like top spec, but it was like a $2,000 laptop, and I got it for 1,100 quid.
That's awesome.
And mate, it's still now. I'm probably thinking in the next few. It's just starting to slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's just starting to, like, whereas before, I tell you what, my video files are, I don't know, 8, 10, 20 gig when they're rendered out. It used to chunk through them in like 7 minutes. It'd be like poof through. Whereas now it takes about 20 minutes. So it is like they are slowing down a little bit. So I think before you invest in any camera whatsoever, you need a good laptop.
It's a good idea. Like, I've completely forgot about that side of it.
Hands down, because
you've got
to be filming in 4K. You realistically, I think you need to be filming in 4K. I don't know whether if YouTube dislikes it. What do you film in 4K?
I completely disagree.
Really?
Yeah,
do you?
A million percent disagree. Because I mean, as we move more towards TV, great. I think if you're Mr. Beast or Mark Rober and your show's going to appear on Netflix, go 4K. But I think for the regular person, 720 is not an option, obviously. 4K chews up so much storage and takes such a huge amount of effort for your computer to deal with. The average person that isn't an accomplished YouTuber like yourself, I think 4K is overkill. And that's not just my words. I have heard this before, but most people watch their videos in 1080. They don't watch them in 4K.
Right.
And purely just the file size. The file size is obscene. Like you'd be spending half your salary in external storage devices.
So this is me, mate.
You'd fill your phone in a heartbeat. Honestly, I guarantee you would have no less subscribers now, and your videos would be no less quality if you're in 1080 HD as opposed to 4K. This guy's a lunatic. Mate, people, ignore what he just said. You do not need 4K.
Right. Well,
that's funny.
Can I just counter that with if I go to my analytics and I go to my audience and I go to what are they watching this? What am I being watched on?
Yeah.
Right. 54% of my views are on TV.
Yeah. Which most people are like, I don't know. We bought, not even, is it UHD? I don't know. Like we bought a reasonably half decent TV a couple of years ago, and I put it on. It wasn't much bigger than the previous TV, but we'd obviously gone from standard definition or from high definition to ultra high definition. I don't know, but I'm like, some of the shows on Netflix, I'm like, what is going on here? It's all grainy as all hell. So I had to pay for the better subscription on Netflix to get better quality streaming. I'm like, well, this is a rip-off. But I don't think you'd have that. I think if you put my kids watch my videos on HDTV. Like if you just try it out of interest, put one of my videos, they're all 1080, put one on your TV at home and see what it looks like as comparison.
Yeah, I've never watched one of your videos
but
on the TV.
Back to the so the summary of that for anyone who's listening is Matt's completely wrong. No, I'm kidding. When I first started out, so you're editing at home. Because I travel for work, I'm editing on a laptop. So I was on a MacBook Air, and the same thing. I was trying to 3D animate in Blender, and I was trying to edit in Final Cut Pro on a MacBook Air, and it just couldn't do it. Just could not handle it. So I went with the MacBook Pro. It's if you want bang for buck, like if you're a Mac fanboy like me and you've got the Mac ecosystem, you kind of buggered, but you overpay for the technology. The technology is, and I think everyone in the world can agree that Apple's hardware is far superior to anyone else's.
I like him.
It's expensive. It's expensive.
Like
it's expensive. So you pay through the nose for the hardware, and then once you've got it, you can't modify it. So look, honestly, maybe down the track I'll get to a point where I'd switch to a PC for editing, because it's just, I know the Mac software now and the ecosystem and all that kind of stuff, so it's easy to use. But it is frustrating that you can't just upgrade your RAM or your hard drive, or whatever. And it's frustrating that some programs aren't made for it. But so the two things there is, one, yes, I had to upgrade my MacBook, and two, the editing software as well. So I ended up paying outright for Final Cut Pro. I think they've just changed to a subscription model, which is a pain in the bum. But if that subscription, Adobe Premiere is a subscription, but then you've got CapCut, you've got a free version, but you do pay a little bit if you want to get rid of the extra features and functions. DaVinci is free. So again, coming back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of just getting used to it, or even iMovie. Like if you're not doing anything with too many special effects or transitions or anything like that, then just use iMovie. But DaVinci, there's a bit of a learning curve there, I suppose. I've never really done too much with it. If you're brand spanking new and you want to minimize friction, I would go with something that's super easy to use. So if you're already using iMovie, use that. If you had, well, I don't know what's on Windows, it used to be, was it Movie Maker or something? I don't know if it still exists.
Yeah.
Bri would favor CapCut over anything else, because it's just kind of like, it's the interface is similar to, when you do anything on any other app, and she will sit and edit. She would rather edit on a phone than a computer, which to me is bananas, but that's what she's happy doing. So get a computer that can handle what you're going to be doing. But if you want to edit on a phone or an iPad, if that's easier because you understand it, and it's easier because you can sit on the couch with a glass of wine while you do it, then do that. Like, just whatever is easiest for you.
Yeah.
But also just the minimum investment. If you are going to go down the computer or laptop route, definitely needs to have enough power to do it, especially.
I've used Premiere Elements. Is it Adobe Premiere?
Premiere Pro.
I used that at school, and I also used Vegas at school, Sony Vegas.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when I was looking at them, they were like extortionate. So, and then this is like going back to my point about proof of concept. Like at this point, I was like, I want to spend least amount of money on this as possible. So I tried out a load of the kind of cheap ones, and I settled on, and I still use it now, which is Cyberworks Power Director.
I've heard of it.
Mate, it's so similar to like Adobe and Premiere Elements.
Is it free, or do you pay for that one?
No, they have a free one, but I pay for it, and it's about it's like £100 a year. I think it was like like my first year it was like £40 for the year.
Yeah,
it's mint. It's dead easy. I find it really easy. It's mint. I don't. My editing's not like crazy.
And that's the thing, yeah.
It's generally pretty much just cutting and zooming and that.
I think if you're going to be doing a lot with visual effects, you might want DaVinci or Premiere Pro, because you're going to use After Effects to pull it in there, or they would move into an AI era, so who knows?
Yeah.
Or if you want to be an editor for a living and you're going to go work for a company, they might want you on, most likely, Adobe Premiere Pro. It's the most common industry standard.
But I reckon, mate, once you've done
yourself, whatever, man. Yeah.
And also, I've found, like, my boss at work trained me on how to do some basic editing on Vegas and Premiere Elements. To be honest, mate, once you've done one, they're all pretty similar. They're all like one, like pan, zoom and crop. I use that quite a bit in my video. That is literally exactly the same in all three of them. Like how you do it.
100%.
So
just find what works for you.
Yeah, find what works for you. Keep it cheap. Keep it reasonable.
Yeah.
What was that? Is it raining yours?
Your audio's gone funny. I heard a vibration, and then your audio's gone funny on your mic.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're back. Yeah, you're back now. Something went boop, and then all of a sudden your audio went off. It's Ginny going, can you come to bed, please?
It sounded like it was raining at your
it's raining here now. Yeah, it's raining here now.
Hear that.
It's peeing it down. This is the Australian summer.
I thought you lived in Australia. It's like sunny 365 days a year.
Show you what you're missing.
Oh, mate, it looks like England.
Yeah, move to Australia, then freaking.
It looks like England.
Get rain on. Yep.
Right. So going back to kit then for me. So once I got my laptop squared away, I already have my GoPro 6, 7. Started filming started pretty much. Hang on.
You GoPro what? 6, 7.
Oh God, you're like the kids at school. You're like the kids at school, mate. Anytime I say.
Sorry, couldn't let that one go.
Yeah. So, yeah, once I got the laptop squared away, immediately started filming in 4K because I don't know, I thought I needed to.
You're an idiot, yeah.
I still do.
Because you think you're James Cameron, yep, got it.
Yeah. And then GoPro 6 or 7, and then so then I was like, right, I need to address the audio. And I bought I don't know. Oh yeah, here it is. I stick it on my Sony. Bought one of those.
Jeez. That is one hell of a dead cat. Wowzers.
Yeah, it's way too big, isn't it? But
how do can you see that in the shot when it's hanging down over the lens? That's insane.
All right.
Oh, if you're listening to this and not watching, you got to tune in to see the size of this mic on his camera.
I need to get a smaller one for it, don't I?
Maddie thinks she's the BBC. Yeah.
But
amazing.
So then I was using that with my GoPro, and the audio was dead cheap. That Rode mic. It's not. It's not a battery one, because the next one up from that is the battery one, which apparently is very crisp. But I just found with that, when we were filming, especially what I was filming, the moment I turn around, which you could probably you lose the audio.
Yeah.
So if I'm filming me doing something in the van,
yes,
I've lost the audio.
You can't be fitting it behind you just so you're facing the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly that. So then I think I even bought, like, my next purchase was the Sony EVZ10 or whatever it is. Have you got this one? You had this one as well.
EVZ10, yes, that's the one I sold. I bought and sold it. So unlike you, I'm not a hoarder. So I try and turn them over, especially with the more expensive stuff. So if it's stuff like that that's got a bit of value, I'm like, before they release the next version of it, I probably should try and move it on and get whatever else it is I need. So it drives Brian mad, 'cause I buy stuff, don't use it, and sell it, and especially in this journey. So I'm trying to keep it lean, which I'm pretty happy of.
You have made me think about that. You have made me think I need to sell some stuff. But so then, basically with that, so that was my setup for a bit. What I found with that was that the lens for the van was too zoomed in. And also I knocked it over once or twice on a tripod.
That's just those two things alone.
I know. And it's just like, so then I went back to my then I went back to my GoPro. And
if you had a dude following you around filming you, that would be a great camera to use. Yeah, and you could have as many lenses as you want and be brilliant. But if you're doing it yourself, like
and which is the dream, I'd love to have somebody filming for me, or make it so much easier. So then I bought the DJI mics. So then I had the DJI mics plugged into the GoPro. With
as in the receiver. Oh, sorry, hang on.
Receiver.
Right, so this is not Bluetooth. This is plugged in.
The receiver's plugged in, and then the mic is wireless.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know where. I've still got those old DJI mics. Don't know where they are.
But that is still line of sight to a certain degree, just not quite the same as a shotgun mic.
Yeah,
Bluetooth
yeah.
ones.
Well,
Yeah.
no, because it's here.
Yes, yes. But you could shield it. Like if you were down in the corner and it was in here, you probably would lose a bit of it. But yeah, still a better option
And
than a shotgun mic.
and then, and this is where I think is especially in my niche or anything similar to this, the optimum filming situation for me is then I was like, when they released the new mics, which then were all, you didn't need the receiver. So that is all in one.
Yes.
Connected. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
I want that. That is the way I want to go. So then so now my current setup is the Action 4 and the new DJI mics. They connect wirelessly. And then I've got the Osmo gimbal camera, which it connects wirelessly to. And actually on this, I think on the Action 4, you can only have one mic, whereas on the Osmo, you can have two.
Right.
And then I think on the new one, you can have two as well. But for some reason on this, you can only have one mic. But to be honest, it's mainly me on my own anyway. But then you know, the side of this is magnetic. So if you want to,
I did not know that until I saw you do that.
How good's that?
Amazing.
Isn't that?
Did not know that.
So that is, if I'm filming Ginny or somebody else, that is
brilliant.
in like that, or it's just on to me there.
I should. I mean, with the smaller DJI Mic Minis, they've got the magnet Mac on it, but I've not tried. So, I mean, obviously they would. I'm sure they would.
Yeah, they will.
Same deal. Just clip on the side of a.
Well, it's not. That's not the magnet.
Yeah,
that's not that. The magnet is in there.
Yeah, right.
Because that thing there.
Yeah. Because they come with magnets. The minis come with magnets. They're in the house. I won't get them now, but the minis come with a separate magnet.
So for shooting.
Yeah. Nice.
Vertical.
Yeah, cool.
So that is just it's just so easy.
I appreciate you bringing something to actually show. You know, the whole show don't tell. And I've just spent half an hour talking about gear, which is great for the people who are only listening. But people who are watching, like, what is he even on about? So if I'd ever had the mics and cameras that I was talking about actually on my person, that would have made a lot of sense. But anyway,
mate, we're still learning. You know, we're still learning. So that for me, I can knock this over, which I do a million times. I usually have it on I've got a Manfrotto tripod.
Yep.
So all my cameras are always mounted with a Manfrotto connector plate. So I've got a couple of those.
The switch mount is enough. Yeah.
So everything just switches onto that. The Osmo has that as well. And then it's just in a van, you get a nice wide field of zoom. Whereas with a normal camera, you don't get that. And with being in the tight space, that's pretty important. And then I am very tempted, but I just I've gone through the phase of buying loads of kit now. Like I just don't need.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need any more kit. The only thing there's one thing I kind of want to buy at the moment, and it is another one of these, and an Action 4. I'd get another 4. I wouldn't go to a 5, or maybe I would just because. But
it sounds like you got a ton of gear you can sell to fund your new purchases.
Yeah,
you're welcome, You're welcome, Ginny.
I won't sell it.
saving you a fortune here.
But it's because what I want to do is on my tripod, I want to have a double rail connector thing. I haven't decided how this will work. And I want to film my time lapses in vertical and horizontal. And that the idea is that I would clip that down for short form.
Both in 4K, I hope.
Obviously 4K.
So have you tried? Because you know you can get the grid on the screen, the thirds. Have you tried positioning the camera far enough back so that the two center lines, which would be your vertical content, capture enough so that you can then clip the same piece of footage? So then, if you want landscape, you can zoom in a bit. And then if you want the vertical, you just chop the sides off. Like that's an option using one camera. You just need to position the camera further away. And then you do need a camera that's good enough to pick up the details from a bit more of a distance.
I was just going to say this, though, because, you know, on my drone footage, when I've got when I've tried to clip that into short form, you can tell it's zoomed in, and that's shot in 4K as well. So
yeah. So
that's
I think
was.
yeah, that's something that I considered early on. I think I generally will shoot with the phone, you know, in the different orientations for depending on what the content
No, I
is.
think
But
you need to.
I do sometimes consider how far away, and this is just using a Lego figure as an example. But I don't know whether you'll be able to see. Yeah, you can. Can you see those lines on there?
Yeah.
So
The rule of
let me get a
thirds.
Lego. Let me get a Lego man. So if I was, you know, if you're filming super close up, that I mean, he doesn't really blow out at all there. But if that's you wanted a short form out of that, you probably couldn't get that. But if you just filmed a bit further away, then you could use that as a short form in those two middle lines. But then long form, all you do is your long form, you crop around, you know, that sort of window like that.
Yeah.
But then short form, you would take this.
But don't
Those
you
two
feel
there,
like
so.
you lose the quality a little bit though?
Well, that's the thing. You'd need a good enough camera to, to get the footage you need.
And also the lighting for me isn't
true. Yeah,
very
once
good.
you move further back, you lose the lighting. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, you got me
The only
there.
other bit of kit I would say is my lights, and I just use these cheap Amazon things.
Yeah, nice. Are they magnetic as well?
Magnetic, yeah. So they just
great in a metal van. You put them anywhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I just chuck those up on the wall, and
amazing.
And
I was blown away when I first started filming how much difference lighting makes.
Yeah.
When I first sat down here, I got these cranked at 100% because it's where I filmed the Lego, and it's all super small, and I've dialed them down a little bit since. But the video of my handsome face here looks a lot more dreamy than it normally does when I'm sat in a hotel room and I don't have the lights on. So that's just an example of what it's like. But
go on.
No, you're a DILF. You look great in any light.
I was going to say I should boost these up and get a bit more color going in there.
But that was probably the biggest distinction for me was between an amateur and a professional video was the lighting. And you must tinker around with the warmth of it or the brightness of it, but the difference between just filming something with no lighting and then filming something with lighting is night and day. No pun intended. So that's good.
I just wanted to go touch on friction.
Yes.
Friction-wise, that the wireless mic, that setup for just not worrying about your audio because it's always connected to you, for me, made such a difference.
Yeah.
Like I can just talk now and I don't need to be looking at the camera if I'm in the middle of doing something. Whereas before I was really having to like talk at the mic.
Yes.
And like do something.
Yeah.
I'd talk whilst I was doing it and then be like, oh, I need to retake that and talk. You know what I mean?
You want to just be able to just start doing what you're doing and almost forget that the camera and mic's even there and just crack on.
I think anything you can do to just remove the friction, that's kind of that's how I've operated now. It's like anything
100%.
I can. And a recent thing I want to do is, and it's just cost, I guess, but I was going to get a couple of tripods. This is really reducing the friction, but for some reason, I tend to go from full height filming down to really low level filming.
Yeah. So I was going to get clip it on the other.
Yeah.
This is my version of that. Is just being able to move this around like a dentist, without having to stuff around. Because it's, even just changing the height, it might be exactly right as you want it straight away. So it's either something like this or what like you said, just a couple of tripods. It's just makes life a lot easier.
You just want to be able to go plop, flick it on, done.
Yeah, 100%. That's good chat, man. Good chat. I'll leave some links in the description for the stuff we talked about. So a little bit of the gear that we use, and I'll pop Anthony's 14-day filmmaker course in there as well, which I think will be pretty helpful for people starting out. But in summary, minimize the friction, work with what you've got, and you probably need less than you think.
Get a good laptop.
Yes.
Shoot in 4K.
Do not shoot in 4K.
Shooting 4K.
You go off to bed, man.
Yeah, nice to see you, mate. We'll catch up next week.
Talk to you later. All right,
cheers, buddy.
See ya.
Ta-da.
Bye.